Welcome to Sidewalk Talk. I am Maria Batt. This podcast is all about storytelling, stories about inspiration, information, and education. And today we've got a little bit of all three of those. It's going to be kind of fun because we have three people on at the same time. And we have two brothers and a wife who are owners of the company Streamline Designs. We've worked with them for a little bit over a year now, and they're awesome partners. We love working with them. We've never had a bad job yet. So guys and Candace, nice to meet you. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
So since there's three of you, want to start with Brad, and you mind just introducing yourself and tell us, I know you guys do everything like all the time. It's not like you have very distinct roles, but a little bit about what your main role is at Streamline.
Yeah, so I'm Brad Lorick, and I'm the oldest brother in the company. And I handle graphic design and dealing with customers at Streamline. I've been doing graphic design work for 21 years now, and I've been in the sign shop world for almost all of that. That's it.
Okay, next, Chris.
My name's Chris Lorick. I'm one of the owners of Streamline Designs. I kind of oversee and do a little bit of everything from graphic design to printing to actually applying the graphics or signage onto vehicles or walls or windows. Yeah.
And we have Candace.
And I'm Candace Lorick. I am the office manager here, and I also take care of our digital marketing, so the website, our social media sites, and anything else that the guys need me to help out with.
Yeah, everybody's a jack of all trades at a family business, right?
For sure.
Now, how long have you guys been Streamline?
We've been open for 9 years now.
It's been 9 years, but so you're really you guys are really a true testament to how like what you love to do can come from your DNA, because just about all of you guys are either working at Streamline or have something to do with it, right? Because your one brother's a photographer, but he's still, he kicks around there too. Were you guys always, were you growing up like dreaming of the day that you were going to have your own vinyl company?
So I think we were, back like in school, the two subjects we were good at was art class and gym class. So we kind of just kept on that creative mentality and hoped to be in a creative world when we got older.
And did you go to school or did you guys learn on the job pretty much?
Yeah, I started off, right out of high school. I was taught graphic design by a guy that was printing custom golf balls for an internet store. And I was doing that every day while I was, going to Niagara Community. And by the time I was done there, I got into a first sign shop job at a Fast Signs franchise store. And during that time, Chris was still, Chris was probably 16 and in high school, and he started coming in and helping assemble signs for a couple hours a day when he was done, with his classes.
And then kind of from there, I went to Alfred State for computer animation, which was super awesome. And it was kind of when animation was ramping up. But in order for me to get a job in that industry, it was, it'd have to be a big move, and it'd be a really hard position to get. So I kind of just kept on like learning graphic design, mostly from Brad, and just trial and error, like using Photoshop, using Illustrator, yeah.
Nice. Now, I think it's one of the ballsiest things to do, to just like say fuck it, throw caution to the wind, and open your own business. And you all of you guys had experience in the field before, what was that one kind of straw that broke your back that you're like, screw it, we're going to do this?
I don't know. We kind of like worked at a bunch of places in the area, and as we were there, we were kind of learning each department in a way. And having 3 other brothers, we kind of knew we already had a team assembled, and we were all kind of creative minds, and we didn't know the business side of it. But we just got like sick of working for people, and we really didn't have anywhere else to go. So we were like, screw it. Let's try this. And we know what we're doing. We know the price points to sell it at. Maybe we could learn the whole business thing as we, day by day. And we're still learning that,
And really, that's like the nice way of Chris calling me up one day saying, hey, if these guys can do it, we can do it.
That's
sure.
kind of all it really takes. Candace, were you with Chris at that time? Because, I mean, I'm used to living in a 2-income household. That's very predictable. And I think that one of those could go away for a little bit and maybe pan out and be awesome, or maybe not pan out. Was that terrifying?
It was terrifying. I did have a full-time job at FedEx at the time in marketing, which kind of led into this position in a good way. Being able to set up a website and ads and try to get the Streamline name out there from the start, from scratch. But I think we were all pretty confident when we opened it that we were going to be okay for the most part. Would you agree?
Yeah. I think she thought it was kind of a stupid idea, but she backed me, so.
Well, you have to be a little bit crazy, I think, to venture out on your own and think that it's going to work and kind of have that faith. So some of your clients are pretty awesome, and I know that a lot of them are repeat, because I think relationship building it's got to be important with you guys. Either that or just we're the only special ones. So what was that one client that really kind of, or one job in particular, if you don't want to say what client it was, that really kind of amped you guys up and we're like, okay, here we go. We're cooking now.
Yeah. So,
And that's okay if you don't know. Maybe, or maybe it was like a type of job, because you guys do a lot of cars. Did you start off just doing cars, or was it more interior that you were doing in different buildings?
So we started off doing cars. We've been in the sign shop industry forever, and vehicle wraps are known as like the hardest thing that can be done in the sign shop world. And, I think Chris is the best installer in the area, and he started off using that strength, doing the jobs that a lot of shops in the area just really couldn't handle. So that's what turned into our focus was, going after the hard stuff.
and to me, like, doing cars is like cool because it's challenging. It's a different challenge every day. Every car is a different shape and size, and being able to design it so that important information doesn't hit a handle or fall into the window. And then at the end of the day, you're driving somewhere with your family and you see your work like on the road. Like, it's cool. It's like, hey, I did that. And it's a great feeling seeing it like out in action.
And the kids always ask about it. Did you wrap that, Dad?
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet I don't think that that's something that ever gets old, walking into a building or driving down the street and seeing something that you created there. It's always awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I love it.
Now, sorry, we have kids all over doing school, so I'm stuck on the couch right now with a dog. Now, I learn something new every time I come to your shop, so I might not be getting this completely right, but wrapping a car, you can wrap a car, but you have to have a kind of special credentials to wrap like a supercar. Is that correct? Or is that totally wrong? That's something I just made up. I made that up, didn't I?
I think you made that up. Yeah.
Okay. But you did. Okay. Well, tell me a little bit then about how NASCAR found you guys, because that was a pretty sweet gig that you scored.
So there's certain certifications in our industry that kind of, ranks you higher. So when national companies or national brands are searching for a, graphic installer in your area, and with the help of Candace's SEO, we come up towards the top, if not first.
That's definitely what I was thinking of. So
Yep.
there it is.
So certification. So we have over the past 9 years, we have maybe 5 certifications, from architectural 3M films to, I don't know, just the top of the industry, the top certifications we could get. We went to Minnesota and passed everything. So it just kind of lets people know that we're not a fly-by-night company. We know what we're doing.
And those are the accreditations the customers are looking for, most of them.
So is that how they found you guys? Talk a little bit about this project, because it's really pretty cool. I mean, I think maybe it's just something for people that live in like the Buffalo area, that anytime you see Buffalo in like a national platform, it's super exciting. So tell me a little bit about this NASCAR Mustang, right? That was designed and you guys wrapped, and they kind of chronicled the journey that you guys took with it.
Yep. So this was, a crazy custom project that NASCAR was going to have 3 custom build shops, custom car shops, build 3 souped up Mustangs and raffle them off to, I forget how you had to enter to win, but there was a builder out of maybe Schenectady, somewhere out that way. They went to SEMA trade show in Vegas a couple of years ago, met a guy out of California who makes some tools in our industry, called him up and said, "Hey, I'm looking to get this. I want to get the Mustang painted. I'm out of time. Remember back in the day when you were telling me about like wrapping cars? I think I need this car wrapped to be able to hit the deadline." This guy gets on the internet, types in, certified installer. We come up, we make connections. They trailered the car here. We installed it in a couple of days. While we were working on it, they said, "Hey, we got a film crew coming in from New York City. They're going to be there tomorrow morning." I was like, oh man. So I went home and I got all my nice clothes on, put some gel in my hair, shaved my face, and then they came and filmed us, and it was a great experience. It was awesome.
So that was done. You guys weren't like entering in with it that this is the project we're doing, and on this date, 4 months down the road, there's a film crew. It was kind of like,
yeah, that's kind of how this industry, when somebody wants it, they kind of like want it now. There's not, a handful of projects are into next year. Most of the time it's a 2-week kind of turnaround. So you got to be on top of your game. You got to get the design nailed down, get your materials in. There's a lot of variables that come into play.
and something that I know, one reason that we really appreciate your work, aside from just the talent that you guys all have, is I feel like you take time to understand the client. You take time to understand the brand to help incorporate that in design. And I don't think that everybody does that. I mean, I've been in pitch meetings with, people who never became partners. They ended up just, staying vendors, and, okay, we have this client, this is what we're looking for. And then, in 24 hours, we've got like 3 samples of what they could do, which is probably very similar to what they give to a lot of other people. So why is that so important for you guys, to get to know the client a little bit and understand their story, so you can incorporate their brand story into the work that you do?
I think it's that's the most important thing is taking care of the customers and listening to them and making the project as easy as possible for them. There's nothing worse than when you want to go and spend a lot of your hard-earned money and you still have to do a lot of the legwork on your end, and you have to try to find files and figure out what the colors are. And I know that when people come in, this is not their specialty. So I try to act like the pro and know that they don't understand the technical part of the project, and I try just to get it done.
And sometimes that includes telling a client that they're incorrect about what the design should be. And that's not always easy. I know I've had to go through it, and sometimes you really have to explain to somebody why yellow on yellow is a bad idea. So how do you guys deal with keeping that good relationship, but breaking the bad news that you guys are the experts in this field, and they need to listen to your advice?
That's tough.
Yeah, it's a fine line. If it's a customer that comes in that and we have a good relationship, we're definitely not afraid to tell them it sucks. But when someone new comes in, it's a little bit more difficult. And a lot of times when you give your professional opinion why, say 75% of the time they listen. Some people know everything, and they want yellow on yellow. We try to do the best we can to make it look good. But it's a juggling act. It's you go through it, and I'd say every designer goes through it.
Yeah, I know, like I've definitely done this is exactly why that we're setting it up this way. This is why these colors pair. This is why this typeface works. Look at these bad examples, and you can see why. Like all of this, text all over the place doesn't work. And then there's always that one case they're like, well, no, but that looks really good. And then it's just like a taste issue, I think, that you might not quite link up.
I think some people too, they're like, they're spending their money, so they almost feel like they need to design it. They want their say in it too. When they should just listen to us most of the time. Like, we know that driving 60 mile an hour, on the 290, you're not going to read some text that has a, red text with a thick black outline on a blue background. You're literally not going to see it. We try our best to give advice, and most time it works.
I think you guys both of you are pretty good at establishing Streamline as being trustworthy. Like, I believe what you guys are saying, and I trust that you guys are the professionals. As a customer, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we definitely do. We go into pretty much every situation we're working with you guys. We're like, well, the ball's in your court. I mean, this is what we bring to the table. This is the brand guidelines. This is what the client story is. And we just know that you guys are going to hit it out of the park. I mean, I think my favorite job that you guys did and are continuing to work on is the youth clubhouse over at Native Connections. And if nobody has ever been to the Streamline Designs website, really check it out, do yourself a favor and look at some of the interior. The schools and the athletic complexes that you guys do are just so sweet. And that's got to come a little bit from, being gym class heroes. And Brad, you were you volleyball coach or something?
I've done that. I run leagues, and sports has always been fun for us, and it's always been our, release when, art turned into a full-time job for us. So we don't do art for fun anymore. We still try to, do sports, and, now we're also full-time T-ball coaches, to our Streamline Designs T-ball team.
The Rockhounds.
And so that's, we just keep on going and keep on trying to have fun. And, we love sports. We follow, everybody, and we get a lot of design inspiration when we, go to different stadiums and different events. And it's really cool to be able to do that type of thing at a high school and college level where, these kids walking through hallways in high school are proud and think it's really cool to have, their gym look like a professional gym.
Yeah, we try to make them, look like the pros, feel like the pros, like school spirit, and hopefully it even makes more students want to participate. Like, hey, if you're on the team, go inside these locker rooms, look what they did inside there. Like, yeah, it's a cool feeling.
When you guys actually got to do professional football or professional baseball stadium when COVID hit, and we had the Blue Jays come and play at Coca-Cola Field. I almost said Pilot Field.
Salen Field.
Salen's? Crap. All right.
They have some great looking vehicles on the road if you've ever noticed them.
Salen's vehicles?
Yeah.
Nice. But what was that like? That had to be like kind of like a heck yeah kind of job. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been trying to work with the Bisons for a handful of years now, and we've bid on a couple big projects and didn't get them, and I always, every spring training, I always reached out to them and say, hey, don't forget about us. If you need any help, we'll get it done. We'll get it done quick. It'll be on time. And I heard on the radio that the Blue Jays were definitely coming, and I just sent an email to my contact, and the next day I was asked to come down for a meeting. And we ended up doing a project. We ended up wrapping all of the awnings on the outside of the stadium, and it's not something that we normally do, but the awnings weren't able to be changed in that amount of time, so we got some big lifts and we wrapped over all of the existing Bison's awnings with Blue Jays graphics. And, when they're ready, they'll be able to get removed, and they'll still have the, clean looking Bison's logos like before we wrap them.
Or maybe they'll need new wraps over top of them instead of taking off the Blue
I like
Jays
to
wraps,
think.
right?
Well, that was a cool thing too, because like what Brad was saying, like they needed something temporary because it was only going to last for a few months, and they're like, we can't really ruin what's here. We need something to temporarily cover it, and that's where vinyl graphics it's made for that,
No, it's an awesome option, and I think it really it just takes your work environment to a completely different level. I mean, you guys are sitting in a pretty cool space right now, but like, I don't know, last summer, it was just a white metal warehouse, right? With like random shelves built with wood that, if you're anything like my husband, was probably like just left over from something that you guys had been working on at one time. So everything's kind of like wonky, but I mean, it's pretty tight. You guys put that whole thing together, and your dad was like doing plumbing once, I think, that I came over. So you're constantly with your family. And I know that probably isn't always fantastic. Do you guys, is it like a dream over there? You guys like the Waltons in loving every minute of it? Or are there times that the bottom falls out a little?
I think we're not really like the Waltons. We're more like the Griswolds. But everybody always says like, oh, it must be so hard working with your family. And you hear all these horror stories, and like,
we don't
it's like
deal with any of that.
Yeah, this is the best. Like we're with our family every day. Like it's awesome. It's easy. It's easier.
It's really good that you guys all got along, because there's how many brothers that you grew up with?
A lot.
Who knows at this point?
There's 4 total, 4 wives, almost 10 kids now.
Your father.
My retired father, who we, comes in every day, and we give him a task, and he enjoys doing it, which is awesome.
Yeah, if anyone out there, needs an Arnie, you're not taking ours, because we're really lucky to have him. He's a retired mechanic and is a great handyman, and we're lucky that we don't have to hire anyone to do any of these crazy projects, because we like updating things and doing new stuff and, cutting holes in the front of our building to move our entrance. And, we have my dad to come and really do a nice job and make the place special for us.
He's the ultimate jack of all trades here.
Everybody needs an Arnie. That's got to be awesome for him too, though, because I know not everybody loves to be retired and just, sit at home and do their crossword puzzles in the morning and then like wait for, I don't know, NPR at some point in the day. And I wouldn't even know because I don't even have a day where I don't have to do anything. That sounds incredible to me, but that's got to be really cool that he can kind of be there with all of his boys and his, daughter-in-laws and have something to do just kind of at his own pace, right?
Yeah. He's never home. He probably works more now that he's retired than when he was working full time, to be honest with you. But yeah, we have a good time.
And even kind of like back to the building that we are creating and why we're doing it. Everything we try to do now, we're trying to give it a complete overall high-end look. When you come in our doors, like you want to, be greeted by somebody with a collar on and be clean cut and look professional and look high-end, because if we look sloppy and we look cluttered, why would the customer ever trust us to give them a clean and professional look? A lot of our industry, maybe not so much in Western New York, but the car wrapping industry is kind of, it could be kind of dirty and, even like hip hop-ish in a way. And
Very casual.
And we're not doing that. We're trying to take a small business and, this guy might have one employee and one vehicle, and we want to make him, look like he's been around for 30 years and you can trust him. And, that's kind of what we're trying to do.
And that's so important. I mean, that's shoveling your sidewalk. That's something that we preach to our clients all the time, that you're always on and everything affects your brand, whether it's, you forgot to shovel your sidewalk on a wintry day, or you come in and like some guy like falls out of the bathroom and he's all like disheveled and everything like that. Like that stuff all matters. And it's definitely one reason why I'm sure your clients keep coming back, because I know you have a lot of repeat clients.
Yeah, and like just imagine like if your wall breaks down in your house, who would you trust coming into your house? A guy with a rusted out van, or something that was professionally wrapped and he has a polo on and his logo matches his van, and he gives you a business card that matches his shirt, that matches his van. It's just, just professional look and feel. And that's the first thing, most of the time, the first thing somebody sees is the vehicle, right? Like they don't even see the tech coming in. They see the vehicle pulling in the driveway.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly how my husband picked how we did our patio in the backyard. Was, we had one guy that came up in this, like, I don't want to say child molester van, but that's kind of like what I would like a Predators like van. And then we had like 7 people come. And then there was the one company that does a ton of work in like the North Towns, and he had like a big like truck, and like I think it had wraps on it. I don't know because I wasn't there, but the one thing that like I got on the phone call when I checked in, like, how was this last quote? He goes, I mean, he was just really well put together. He had like his truck was on point and his worker's truck was on point. And so that stuff all you want to work with somebody that looks like they're competent and they're professional. I totally agree.
Yeah, definitely. Even I've noticed, recently, we're getting a lot of Christmas presents, delivered to our door right now. And it is kind of a little bit of a weird feeling when that one blank white van just pulls up in front of your house and sets off your Ring alarm. It's like, all right, who's out here? And it's, they're just delivering our toilet paper subscription. It just didn't fit on the regular, Amazon truck. But yeah, branding is important. Fleet branding is very important, especially if you're, working in a residential environment to make, the people comfortable that you're going to present to or to work on.
Yeah, no, that is a really good point. I mean, just those independent delivery companies, or even, I don't know if it's one of like some of the people that, they have to purchase their own truck for their route. And, I'm sure eventually they can get it wrapped, but, you'll have like a yellow truck that had Penske at one point on it, and then it had something else over top of it, and it just looked shady. And it's, you get a phone number that you don't recognize, you're not going to answer the phone for, you're going to let it go to voicemail, and you have some kind of rickety looking truck coming up that you're not going to go to the door to answer it. It's such a good point. It's that, I think your piece is it to somebody's brand. It just really ties everything together like so nicely, and really puts their company out there. And you guys just crush it every single time. Whenever we get a new client, we get super excited because we know there's a chance that we're going to end up working with you guys. And usually if they have somebody else in mind, we find a way to make sure that we're still working with you guys. So thank you guys so much for everything that you do for us. And, I'm sure all your other clients appreciate you too. And just before I let you go, I'm just curious if you guys each, or the group of you, can kind of figure out, was there one job or something that was just super fun that sticks out? I know that's kind of a hard one because you do a lot of work.
What was super fun?
Well, the Blue Jays is definitely up there.
The Blue Jays is cool. That gave us a lot of exposure. There was a lot of graphic companies that did work during that event, and because we did the outside work, the news loved to tell everyone that we did everything. So that gave us some great exposure.
Back in the day when it was just me and my brother Tyler here, we got a call to wrap the Boomerang roller coaster at Six Flags Great Escape. So it's the you go backwards and you go forward and blah blah blah, and there's two tracks that run side by side. So when Twix came out with their advertisement, it's probably stale now, but 6 years ago they were doing like the right side and the left side, like the two different Twix bars. And we wrapped this coaster in the red theme, and we wrapped this coaster in the gold theme. And we had to do it at night. We had one night to do it. We grabbed one of our buddies and drove the 5 hours. And we get there, the cart is still up on the track, which I guess we didn't really think that it would still be on the track. We're probably 18, 20 feet off the ground, sitting in the carts as we wrap them. This was probably around maybe 2:00 in the morning. Again, we didn't keep this in mind, but the temperature changed and all the cars were starting to be covered in dew. So vinyl doesn't like to stick to things that are wet or moisture. So we're trying to dry them off, and it was just crazy. And then after that, after we fought the dew, at about 5 a.m., the mosquitoes came out. So now we're like trying to wrap these cars. We're under pressure. We're fighting the mosquitoes. And I think the park opened at like 10 a.m. We were literally finishing at 9:15, putting the last few pieces on. And then they came up like, wow, you guys did this. We're like, I know, like, we're going to be the first ones to test ride this, this coaster. So that was kind of a cool project.
That's pretty sweet. Have you ever done a roller coaster before?
No, and I hope I don't ever do it again.
That sounds kind of like terrifying. Like there could be so much that could potentially go wrong with that. And that's awesome that you crushed it in one night.
It was crazy.
I think the only thing we haven't done so far is a plane, right?
Right.
So.
Okay. We'll work on that. We'll get right on that. So if you're listening to this and you happen to own Southwest, or we'll even take Spirit. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of plane it is. We can do Spirit Airlines, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll get it. This is it, guys. This is where the plane's going to come in. We got it.
Perfect.
Thank you guys so much for taking the time. I know how busy you all are, especially trying to get things done before the holidays. So thank you very much. It was great talking with you guys as always. If you guys want to see what Streamline Designs is up to, check out their website, streamlinedesigns.com. They're on LinkedIn, they're on Facebook. They got a lot of cool work that you can take a look at and then maybe consider doing for yourself. If you want to hear any of the other Sidewalk Talk podcasts, you can stream them from any platform that you prefer, or you can visit us on our website, shoveletsidewalk.com. And if you have a story that you'd like to share, or you know somebody whose story should be told, we have a form right on the site that you can fill out. And thank you so much for joining us. This has been Sidewalk Talk.